Shambho Mahadev, 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 Mahadev. Om Shanti. So in Chhandogya Upanishad 7:8-2 we said about the balam. When the balam comes from the faith, unless the faith is there, balam will not be there. Any amount of strength you acquire, there has to be faith on that. If the faith is not there, any amount of physical strength or mental strength, it's difficult. That there has to be dependency on that strength. See, all these things are detailed, as I told you at the beginning also. That too for a person who is living in the materialistic world. In order to explain the supreme spirituality, certain methodology has been discovered by the great rishis to relate more or less with that spirituality, and they have explained it in the materialistic methodology, so that the persons who are living in the Grihastha ashrama, who are willing to attain the spirituality, can gain an idea, can gain the anubhava, the feeling of the spirituality when it attains through these experiences of explanation of bhautika or materialistic way. Ultimately, all these explain whatever we have explained in materialistically, starting from Vani, I think, Vakya, all those, whatever has been explained later, they are all, when you look at it, there will be always, there is something which is very common in that, is dedication, devotion, and also the jnaanam beyond that what is explained. Jnaanam that is beyond what is explained, I said. This power of grasping of that beyond that has been explained. That which has been explained is already with you. Vani is with you, strength is with you, and what all we said. So I just cannot immediately recollect all that. And jnaanam and then bhakti, everything has been explained about it. They are all, you are able to recognize. They are all, you are able to recognize. That is in the mind, mana is there, intelligence is there. But when these are being explained, they are all, in the lower consciousness it is being explained. But when that is transmitted or transferred or imparted or transmitted to the higher consciousness level, the nature of application of the same thing in the spirituality will be totally different, and the anubhava or the experiences will be absolutely different than that what we are explaining. They will merge into one, all of them. See, even though So many are explained. But what happens? It is, as I told you, for a grihastha, it is easy to relate it with the spirituality. Suddenly, why it is difficult? No, because they see Bhagavad Gita as well as all the Upanishads, great Vedas also, and great Maharishis have also told that this is such a secret. I have told it a number of times. This is such a secret. Don't try to explain it to somebody who is not eligible to listen to it. There is a lot of discussion on this particular sentence, The great jnanis have discussed it in many ways. So somebody said, the Charvaka said that, does it mean that a section of people doesn't want this knowledge to be transmitted to others? See, suddenly it goes to the mind like that. The others said, unless this is explained, how they can understand it. Yes. The second argument. Everything will, when you think about it logically, you will find they're all absolutely right. And they said that when this is being explained, why not stick to materialism and then identify the spirituality? Why is it not possible? At last, who is identifying the spirituality? It is this matter or this material who is going to identify the spirituality. So why not you explain to that? See how three different greater subjects is not small. Their greater subjects have been questioned to the Guru. Yes. The one who is not eligible, what do you mean by eligibility? Is the other question. What do you mean by eligibility? Everything has been explained by Bhagavan absolutely clear in the Upanishad as well as in Bhagavad Gita, as well as in the Vedas and Shastras. This also I have explained it in earlier days or beginning of this or in between or number of times. In various ways it has been explained. Unless there is a power to have a suction, one cannot suck it. Unless there is a power to push it, one cannot push it. Now who makes it push? Is it the power? Or is it the part that is pushing it? Or is it the thought? What is it making it push? How it happens? As we have already explained, everything happens. It is not decided by anyone. As the Prithvi, as the Prakriti has happened from the Purusha, it's not an intention. It's not a creation. It is not a srishti. No. Even though we call it as a srishti, it is not a srishti. It happens. Now, to explain such things, that the eligibility of a person, who is eligible, the one who is totally inclined to spirituality, even though he is in materialism, without any partiality on that, with all total devotion and dedication, one is totally ready to transform oneself into spirituality without any questions in them. Why should I change? Why should I not change? If changes happens, what happens to me? What will happen to me, the me, what I am calling myself as the me, who has got so much of importance today because of so many things, so many materials, the possession of so many materials, I have got so much of importance. The fear of losing that importance, fear of losing that physical status, fear of losing that whatever you have it, you don't know that. Whether you have fear or not, if it has to be lost, it will be lost in a day's time, in a moment's time. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. that whatever you are seeing is an impermanent. A person who has understood this is called the eligible person to listen to it. The one who has got total faith on that without any questions on that. Why questions? Is it an authoritative decision that there should be no question? This I have already answered earlier also. It's not the questioning. The questioning of the jnanam cannot be done. Why? Because it's the jnanam itself. Unless there is a jnanam, one cannot question the jnanam. Who is an Ishvara? Who is a Brahman? Who is Sakshatkaram? Who is this? If you put 2 eyes and 1 nose and 2 ears to the jnanam, that's called Ishvara. In the jnanam you draw 2 eyes and 1 nose. In the space you draw, in the blank sheet. In a blank sheet you draw, and that is a shape. Rub it off, put another shape, that is a shape. Okay? So in the jnanam, superimposition, the capability of the superimposing the face of the God, the face of the Brahman, if I call it that way, should be there in a true jnani, in a true spiritual path walker of the path. He is eligible to listen to it. Next is that. Unless this is explained, he will not know. So this should be explained. Even if it is explained, he will not know. Is why it should not be explained. Even if this is explained, he will not know, is why it should not be explained. If it is for the purpose of knowing, he will never know it. If it is for the purpose of transforming, it will happen. Knowing will not take place. So, unless one is explained, he will not know. The one will never know. Even if it is explained, one will not know. So what is the use of explaining? Is why it should not be explained. Is it not that materialistic person or materialistic object that is what is transforming to spirituality? So why not explain it? If the transformation of the material has to take place to spirituality with necessities, it will automatically happen. It is not necessary to explain that object, what is called spirituality. Because that answers the third answer also. Because the one who wants to transform, he should be, eligibility has to be there. That eligibility, when it comes, this object, whatever it may is there, it will automatically transform. So there is no necessity of explaining to that object to change it. For it is not Guru's or it is not God's or it is not anybody's requirement that this particular object or this particular person should transform. Yes. Guru is not imparting the jnanam to forcefully transform the disciple to Brahma jnana. It is not his requirement. It is not Prakriti's requirement that you should transform. It is not Prakriti's requirement that you should transform. It is your requirement to transform yourself and merge with the Prakriti. Otherwise, you will remain in conflict with the Prakriti and you have to struggle Janma after Janma to create this avoidance of the struggle, to come out of this struggle, to come out of this sin. So many names are there. To come out of these problems, you decided to transform yourself into the nature of the Prakriti, Swabhava of the Prakriti. So he is the one who is eligible to listen. Is why Bhagavan Krishna also says that you are not eligible. The one who is not eligible to listen to these Upanishadic tattvas, you should not explain it, because it is not that. You should not, in the sense here, it is not a restriction imposed on the Guru, and he is also told one more after that. It's not a restriction with a whip saying that you should not. The usage is even though you should not. The purpose is that you are wasting your time. That time that you are wasting in explaining those who are not eligible to should be utilized to somebody who is eligible to. Is why he said should not. Not that anybody can speak spirituality. It is not anybody's property. So the purpose is that speak to those who are eligible. It is very strictly told. He has also told, Bhagavan also says that afterwards, that the Guru who doesn't do that, the Guru who explains to that he is wasting his time explaining the Brahma Tattvam to where it is not necessary, he is not prayer to me, is it? So we are not doing it to have the priyam of Bhagavan. What is priyam? Only in the materialism there is priyam actually. The priyam has been mentioned in the word there only for the materialists to understand it. There is no personal satisfaction or integrity or personal attachment or affection or favoritism when he says that priyam. Here the priyam mentions that. Who is again Bhagavan? As I told you, if you put 2 eyes and nose and 2 ears and make look like a man, the jnaanam, if you make look the jnaanam like that, is Bhagavan, is Brahman. Jnaanam is Brahman. That's why it is Brahma Jnanam. So there is no individual who is trying to, or whom you have to please. Then only the question of priyam will be misunderstood. It's not, you are not learning the spirituality, you are not transforming yourself to please someone. That's very cheap. It's not to please someone, it is for a transformation of the self towards the Prakriti. Because, why you should have it? Another thing is that you have to have it. Today or tomorrow you should have it. And you have to have it. Why? Because you have come from the Prakriti and it is your responsibility to transform yourself into the Prakriti. There is no excuse on that. You are bound by that. Your freedom is only for transforming yourself into the Swabhava of Prakriti. That is called the freedom. You don't have freedom to be born. You know that? You are born. For what? For executing the karmas, exhausting it and becoming part of the Prakriti. You have no freedom to be born, you have no freedom to die. You have only freedom to transform. There is no other way. So that freedom has to be utilized. What we are doing is that we are resisting that freedom. Okay. So why I am saying all this is that these, when it is being explained in the Chhandogya Upanishad, these parts, they are explained so that Grihastha who has got a strong intention to transform himself into the true nature of the Prakriti, into the true Swabhava of the Prakriti, into the true Swabhava of the Brahman, he can relate it with the objective intentions and objective recognitions and realities, and dissolve the object as well as subject into the truth. Object is also false, subject is also false. Object is understood by subject. The object is understood by the subject, otherwise the object is not there. Subject, because it is can understand, is why subject is there. So the one which can understand, which also can change, and that which is changeable is not permanent. That which is permanent, which is not permanent, it is not the Brahman. So everything dissolves in that. Ultimately, these are all to relate with that. It's not a rule. They are only guidelines through the. See, how can the spirituality be explained to an object? How can spirituality be explained to a human being who is living in the Bhautika Jivan, in the Bhautika society? How can the spirituality be explained? How can one explain the spirituality? It is not possible, you know that? That is why Bhagavan said, Jnana Chakshu, the people who are attaining the special power of seeing, they only can witness the Brahman, they said. That's called Jnana Chakshu. The eye of the wisdom. The eye of the wisdom has to be there. These are eyes which are not the wisdom. These eyes are not meant for that. Now you tell me, logically tell me, how can I make you understand that which cannot be seen by you, that which cannot be heard by you, that which cannot be tasted, felt by you? How can I explain it to you? Yes. How to do that? Only through inference. Draw an inference. Through that only one can make them understand, and it's not possible. These eyes can see only that which is material and which is moving, vichara. These eyes can see only the objects. So one Maharishi, one sannyasi told very nicely one sentence. It's very easy to identify Brahman. That which can be seen by your eyes are pleasures. That which can be seen by your eyes, heard by your ears, means Panchendriyas, or smelled by the nose, sparsha through the fingers. That is, they are all pleasures. That which cannot be seen by them, these are called Ananda, is called Ananda. That which can be felt and seen is pleasure. That which cannot be seen and felt is Ananda. Now tell me, how can I explain Ananda to you? That which can be seen by your eyes are objects. That which can be seen by your eyes can be understood. That which cannot be seen and felt by you is called the Brahman, how can I make you understand the Brahman? So what you are trying to do? We are trying to see that which cannot be seen. We are trying to see that which cannot be seen. We are trying to hear that which cannot be heard. We are trying to smell that which cannot be smelled. We are trying to taste which cannot be tasted. We are trying to touch which cannot be touched. This has to be drawn through an inference. Now tell me how to make one understand the Brahman. So in the lower consciousness, we say that which is beyond this, that which is beyond this is Brahman. For that, one has to have the faith. One has to believe it, because that cannot be known. That cannot be understood. If that can be known and if that can be understood, then that is not jnaanam, which is beyond. That's why I said you should understand beyond what I am explaining. You got it? The term is very difficult. How can you understand beyond what you are explaining is the next question immediately. That's right. So what should be the answer? What should be my answer? What should be my answer? Suppose I say, try to understand beyond what I am saying. So you are asking, how can I understand beyond what you are saying? So what should be my answer? There is only one answer. What is that? Only one answer. Nobody can interpret it. Don't try to understand. Don't try to understand, because the moment you are understanding, you are seeing, you are smelling, you are hearing. No, that cannot be. That's why I said initially, I explained to you, that which can be seen, they are pleasures. Brahman is not a pleasure. Brahman is an ananda, status of ananda. That which can be seen by you is a pleasure. That which cannot be seen is only ananda. That which can be seen by you is object and objective. That which cannot be seen by you is a Brahman. So if you try to understand that which cannot be seen, which cannot be understood, what you are trying to understand? You are trying to understand that which cannot be understood. So what should I say? Don't try to understand that. Then what should I do? Is the next question. What should I do? Absolute samarpana to the knowledge and conviction that this is the only truth. Not understanding. The conviction, emphasize the conviction, impose, perceive that this is the only truth. How did you learn in class 1? If you draw this line is called 1, number 1. You just believe the teacher, that's all. Class 1, I cannot know anything else other than what is told by the teacher. She said or he said, the teacher said, you write like this, this is 1. Now there is no interpretation of that. This is 1. This is A, that's all. This is A. That's all. Why A like this? Why can't be like this? No, did we interpret that? Have you asked it? Did you ask many of the equations, the teacher, why the equations are like this? Many of the theorems, many of the trigonometry, or any of those subjects, whatever it's been. Have you asked that, is it right or wrong? On the other hand, we have mugged it and then said this is right. is it not? Even normal things we are mugging up and saying this is right. Can you not accept that which is abnormal and which is right as right? We are saying so many things in our materialistic world. Oh, that is right. This is not right. Authoritatively we say that. That is right and this is right. Why? You have been brought up in certain circumstances, certain culture, certain environment, certain this, certain that. You have studied certain things. So based on these parameters which is not known to you at all, which is told by somebody, yes, which is told by somebody, you believed that this is what it is. And you said, if somebody else says that, 450,000 light years is the distance from the earth to such and such planet. If someone else says it is 420,000, immediately you will say that, no, it's not 420,000, 450,000. How do you know? Am I right? That which is on the northeast is called, what is the star? Dhruva. That is Venus, that is this. How do you know? Is it written there? When you, even if you look through the microscope, the astronomical studies, when they make, is there it is written there? No. One gentleman who was experimenting it, he told this is called so such and such star. You started calling that star as that. Humko kya jata aata hai. That is your attitude. I will call that also. If someone else says, no, that is not Dhruva, it is something else. It is Mangal. You will immediately say, no, you are wrong. Is it not? What is right is this. How did you derive this right? You understood what I am trying to tell you. You have made your right and wrong from no substratum. Have you got it? Your rights and wrongs are all from without any basis. Without any basis. This is the way how one should be dressed up. Just a conviction, that's all. Practice. 21st century, this is the way. 22nd century, no clothes are required. Or 23rd century, I don't know. And in the first century also it was like that. So we will go back to that. There will be no more cotton and there will be no more wool available, so we can take the tree bark of the trees and make that. Even now we are making it. With the apple fiber, pineapple fiber and many other things, we are making clothes of that, you see. Same thing. Same thing. It will come back to that. So what happened? There is no substratum. There is no basis for your saying what is right and wrong. They are only practices put in for execution of your karmas. Now, there is not necessary that it has to be known that that is right and that is wrong. There is a conviction, so you follow that is wrong. 10,000 years ago, something else was right. Now some other practices are right. So, none of these what you understand today. Everything that what you understand today, everything that what you understand today has no basis. They are only for the purpose of experimenting and experiencing the karmas. That's all. It's a convenience. The right and wrong today, the truth and false today is a convenience. That's all. Who made it truth? What is the truth? So all those things are just a convenience, just a basis which has got no bearing at all, no substratum at all. There is no truth in it, you see. It's all untruth. It can be changeable. That truth can be changeable. Other scientist can come tomorrow and can challenge that is not Venus. And he will prove it. That's not Venus. That is Saturn. Somebody said Saturn is the symbol of Saturn. We believe it is. That's Saturn. What is the basis? The basis is that on somebody's conviction, but those convictions are necessary. I am not saying they are wrong. The man who said that is Saturn, this is, fine. He derived the names without any basis of that. Only based on the movements and the habit and characteristics of that. The Maharishi and the scientists, those right days, the Maharishis have named them based on particular activity, particular swabhava of that particular planet, particular object, that's all. So it is convenient, fine, no problem, because there is nothing wrong in it. It's absolutely right. What I am saying is that, but there is no substratum, there is no basis of that. They are all meant for experimenting and experiencing of our karmas and exhausting them in order to identify the truth and merging on that. So when you can do this, that everything that you understand, everything you will be understanding in this world, everything that you will be seeing, everything that you will be hearing or smelling or touching, they are all not necessarily to be right. You cannot claim it as right. You cannot claim that's with a firm conviction, you cannot say this is right. That because they are all can be seen. They all can be understood. When those things have, or nothing, you take anything for that matter. You ask me anything. Everything is not on a basis of the truth what I am talking about. Even the truth what we are talking, truth today, Satya, today is also on the basis of something else. Yes. But what I am explaining you, I in the sense, not I as an individual, what I am explaining you, Brahman said, what I am explaining you when I am explaining the Upanishad, it is the Bhagavan who is explaining the Upanishad. That's why the aham has been used. Is why when I am explaining the Upanishad, I am explaining you, I am taking you and I am making you understand that the truth is that. Not without any basis. Yes. That which cannot be seen by you, that which cannot be understood by you. Because you are in the understanding and seeing is done where standing at a place where there is no basis. And I am taking away that basis, the wrong basis from you. When I am explaining this, I am putting you into the right basis and making you see through the true eyes of yours that the Brahman is the truth. When you can believe all this false, can you not believe that one truth? That one truth which is Brahman, from which you will understand all these things are false. Why am I trying to explain you? That is the truth. When you know the truth, as I am very firmly and with authoritatively, I am just had been talking to you that all that what you know is have no basis. Authoritatively I said that. Yeah? How did I say that? Because when you are taken to the truth, when you know the truth, when you know the Brahman, Brahman is the sarva jnaanam. Including the false basis where you are living today is also included in that jnanam. So when you have that jnanam of the Brahman, when you have that Brahma jnanam, which is the truth, I said, where it has got a only basis, and in which basis, from which basis you can see all that whatever what I said, that what you are seeing today, what you are experiencing today is all without any basis. They are all changeable. The true today is changeable. The decency today is changeable. The manners today is changeable. The fact today is changeable. The methodology of prayers are changeable. Eating habits are changeable. Materials of eating, that what you eat is changeable. As I told you, wearing clothes, walking, seeing, learning, writing, everything is changeable. Which is not changeable? Tell me. You assure me that after 20 years it will be the same. All languages, they have brought changes. You know that? In the printable language. English also, there are two English now. One is the original Old English, and the later English, that phonetic English is also there now. As it is spoken, it's written. That's also has come. All languages have changed. All languages have changed except Sanskrit. There are no changes made in the Sanskrit because nobody can make any change in that. That which cannot be changed. That which cannot be changed, the moment you change it, the meaning will be different. You understood? It's there, Pratishtha. Same way, all the languages have come from that only for what? For making communication, to make it understand each other. That's all. But this making communication, making others understand, is changeable. You yourself see that. I am seeing it at least. When we were small, what we have learnt. Today what we have to write is totally different. Including our own mother tongue, the languages. I won't be able to write that, printing this one. I won't be able to write it today. I cannot write. It's totally different. Because they have changed it, you see. Earlier, was there, was only small, and in Sanskrit it is like this, but in the other language it is like this. And means put a dirgha, it is a joint, it's merged with that, it's put another one along with that. Today, whenever you have to write, you have to write, and the next one you have to put one like this. Yeah. Now I cannot write it. It's not. I'm just telling you a small thing like this. Languages have changed. Everything has changed. What is not changed? You tell me. From your childhood also you are seeing so many things. That which are changeable. That means there is no basis. Is not. If there is a true basis, that should not change. As I told you, Samskrita, there is no change at all. Same way, everything that we are understanding. But then what? Well, we are not to be. I'm making you conscious that, you see. You should be not follow it. You should follow it. Why? Because that's where we have to live. As I told last time, the boat and then the waves. The wave is the base, and the boat is on top of it. If the wave goes up, the boat also goes up and moves. I cannot remain in that same level. The boat cannot travel, because according to the substratum, it has to change. Same way, but is it true? It is not true. The wave is true, the wave is not true. What is true? The water below that is true. That is the truth. Wave is not the truth. Water is the truth. It is due to some impact. These waves are created only on the surface of the water. Underneath, it's absolute still water is there. They are all for a particular purpose, for so many things. What you have to do then? You have to understand this. This is understandable. And this can be understood. Once you understand this, whatever I am doing now, they are all without any basis. They are only meant for a facility for execution of karmas and exhausting them or accruing. the karma phalas. That's one of this. That's why this is happening. Am I clear? Nothing is that right. Then what is right? The only right that which cannot be seen. Why? Because you yourself is not right. So what you see, what you experience is also not right. Your sharira is not right. Your mind is not right. Your thoughts are not right. Your karmas are not right. Everything is meant for some sort of correction and transformation. They are all activities for some sort of correction and activities of correction and transformation. Your sharira is there only for that purpose. Your mana is there only for that purpose. Indriyas are there only for that purpose. Your thought is there only for that purpose. Once it has been transformed, none of them will remain. You understood? So when you are with the sharira and with the mana, won't be able to understand you without sharira and mana. When you learn the Upanishad, when you learn the Vedic science, when you learn the Brahma Vidya, when you learn the Brahma jnaanam, when you acquire that through dedication and devotion, which cannot be understood, which cannot be learned, which cannot be understood, which has to be perceived. With a conviction you have to say, this is the truth. Only then you can see, my truth is not this. Me as a truth is that. When you realize this through Brahmajnanam, Tapasya, Brahmajnanam and Vidya from the Guruvani, when you understand, when you learn all this, when you convict, when with the conviction you understand this, or when you perceive it in the right sense, you experience anubhava. It's an experience, you see. Like the thirst, it's an experience. Thirst cannot be explained. You can only say that, oh, lips are getting dried, throat is getting dried. Is it the thirst? Because there is shortage of water, so your throat is getting dried and this one is there. That is only indicative that you are thirsty. What is thirst? What is thirst? Tell me. What is the right analysis of thirst? Physical thirst I am talking. We drink water.
Yeah, the throat is dry. The body needs water.
That's right. The fluid level in our body, to be specific, the fluid level in our body has reduced below that which is supposed to be there for the normal function. Then we call it as dehydrated. Hydration is what? Hydrogen is that. Oxygen. Hydration is that. Dehydrated. When dehydration means when lesser water is there, when the level of the water goes down, then we feel, that's called the name is thirst actually. Is it not? Can you see that? Can you understand that? The moment we say thirst, any one of us for that matter, when this is dry, is thirst for us. So, to make you understand what is thirst, one has to tell you that your throat will get dry, your lips will get dry. Nothing to do with the water and the lips and throat. Yes. Nothing to do with the quantum of the water and the lips and throat. They are true. So when you are explaining it, what can the thirst, how it can look like? One can only explain that you will feel the throat getting dried up and this one getting dried up. That's all. Through this, what are you seeing? That which can be seen is not the truth, which has no fact at all. The water level in the body which cannot be understood by you. Can you understand it? Can you see it? Can you experience it? Can you touch it? So, that which cannot be seen is the truth. Has to be accepted by you. When I say that the water level has gone dehydrated, you have to believe it. That's why I am feeling throat dry and this is dry. That's all. Otherwise we cannot. The dehydration cannot be understood. I am just telling you an example from this. Here we can understand it because it is easily understood. But that which is not seen by you, this requires a special jnaanam. Dehydration has to be measured by an instrument. Then say that this is the water content in your body, then they say that this is this, then only you can understand that, is it not? Till then you will not feel it, whether it is dehydration or it is some other problem, viral infection, your throat is getting dried up. It is not only when the thirst is there, the throat gets dried up. Are you getting it, what I am trying to tell you? Same way, that which is seen and which is experienced, which is objective experience, which is understood, they are all baseless, is why Bhagavan said, don't try to understand Brahma jnanam. Experience it. And when you experience it, you will have that Brahma jnanam. When you have the Brahma jnanam, from that jnanam, in that jnanam, you will know this is false. Unless I have known that, I will not know this is false. When I have the Brahma jnanam, then I will know that the physical body, mind and everything is false. All these activities, what we are doing, is false, baseless. Nothing is required. Nothing is required. This realization, that's why it is known as realization. The realization is not that which can be understood, which can be learned, which can be analyzed. Why? Because this cannot be analyzed. It is ekam. When there is an ekam, when it is a combination of many things, then only an analysis can be done. Then only an interpretation can be done. Then only an explanation can be done. Yes. Then only a variation can be created. Because in order to have an explanation, always we have to create a variant. And then we have to compare and make a study. Then prove that this is right and this is false. Whereas in Brahma jnanam, there is only right, there is no false. Because, and that can be understood only through the inference. The inference is that how your heart is functioning, what is called dehydration, how your liver is functioning, how are you being born, how are you dying. None of them are facts. They are all changeable. They are all changeable parameters, and all other things in between birth and death, forget about it. When this itself is not a fact, how can the activity between B and D can be right? So between B and D is called C. See. So you have to see that. Yes, that's being. So that which is, so what is important here? That which can be seen, that which can be experienced, they are pleasures. That which cannot be seen and experienced is called Annam. That which can be seen and experienced and understood is that pleasures. Pleasures means materialistic. What is pleasure? Pleasure, why we call term pleasure has been used there. There's a great science behind it. Pleasure is temporary. Any pleasure is temporary. Is why the pleasure word has been used. Not that it's a pleasure. Not the pleasure the dictionary meaning of the pleasure. No. That what can be seen is the pleasure means that what can be seen is temporary. Instead of saying temporary, he said pleasure, so that one can easily understand. Temporary will again, a question will come. Pleasure means everybody will understand, including a child. Pleasure means it is temporary. Pleasure cannot be permanent at all. And they say also, क्या सब समय ऐसे रहेगा, क्या सोचा? हम लोग भी बोलते हैं, अरे बड़े ज्ञानी हैं सब. Everybody says that. No? Do you think that वही same situation will remain throughout? We are also saying that. That means it is accepted. Pleasure is not permanent. So that what can be seen is pleasure. That means that what can be seen is not the truth. That what can be seen is not the basis through which you are supposed to live. But you have accepted it as living because there is no other way. In order to execute your karmas, that is the only thing available. So you said this is the right. Now, that's only your conviction that it is right. It's only your understanding that it is right. That's not right. That is not satyam. That is not the truth. The truth is only that. Truth, from the truth, I should be able to see the truth and faults and everything. When I am in the status of the truth. That's why the truth cannot be understood, because I have to be in the status of truth. Sitting in truth, or I become the truth. I transform myself the truth, which is known as jnaanam. When I transform myself as the jnaanam, from the jnaanam I understand that jnaanam is inclusive of all these. It need not, that's why it need not be understood. In a state where you are unable to understand that which is the truth, you try to understand it. The moment you transform, you become that. You don't try to understand it, because there is no understanding necessary. Everything is there. So the understanding is not necessary. That's why I said that what is understood is not that what you understood. It is only understood. That also has no basis. If you have understood, you say, there's no basis. It is temporary only. You have understood it depending upon your convenience, your situation and your time, kala. In which age and era you are, you will understand what I am speaking. When the sannyasi or brahmachari listens to me, he will understand something else. When a school student, he understands, he will understand it differently. A grahastha will understand it differently. A man who is a dukhi, he will understand it differently. Who is a sukhi, he will understand it differently. Now, which one of these is the right understanding? How do you know what you are understanding now is the right understanding? Whatever you have understood. In which manner? Is why I said, don't try to understand Brahma Jnana. It's not possible. Is why your transformation is necessary. Your absolute samarpana and transformation is necessary. Where you have to do samarpana, where you have to transformation, you should understand. What we try to do is that we acquire newspaper jnanam, magazine jnanam, and novels written by many people in different ways jnanam. Then write on autobiography of saints and rishis is another jnanam. And what is that? Himalayan masters is another jnanam. Walking with Himalayan masters, speaking with the God or speaking with man, is another jnanam. Now which jnanam will take me? There are books which I little bit I remember. Maybe I am wrong in some of the titles, but more or less something like this. We are trying to understand Brahman through all this. Where will you surrender yourself? Where will you submit? To Himalayan master or the one who is speaking with the God? Whom will you surrender to? Understood? It's not a big confusion. which Swamiji, which Swami, it's a big confusion. That is why Upanishads have told that following, you should understand what to follow, where to follow. Because surrender, the samarpana cannot be done in thousands of places. Guruvayur gaya, wahan bhi samarpan kar diya. Badrinath is at a height. Samarpanam will be better there. Because it's 16,000 feet, 15,000, 12,000 I think. उससे भी ऊंचा है केदारनाथ. Samarpanam there is much more better. Is it not, tell me honestly, even though jokingly said, is it not the way we are thinking? So this is how people are confused, I am not blaming you. They are confused where to do the samarpana. It's only a sort of mental satisfaction they derive out of it. They do prostration there, they do prostration there, they do prostration there, they do samarpana. Okay, now go. As I always say, darshan. अच्छा हुआ दर्शन. You should know you have to do samarpana to the jnaanam. You have to do samarpana to the truth, the satyam, the truth, the jnaanam, the Brahman. So you have to, as I told you, what did I say when we started this set of chapters? Where do we do samarpana? That's why I decided to take an interim class in between. When we started this set of chapters, where what was the first one? Section 2, speech, one is what? So, Vang, speech we have started, Vang. From speech we went to the mind, then we went to the thoughts, I think, the will, we said, yes, it's called the. Then we said the chittam, then we contemplation, jnaanam, we said yes. Then we said about understanding, vijnanam, pradhanam. Then balam, we said, now we have come, now we have not started. Before we starting, I wanted to. So when we started with the speech, what did I tell? I gave a long talk on that for 2-3 classes. Where the samarpana should be done. Pratishtha. Absolutely. To make that, I had to do all this exercise. So where do suddenly I remembered is that, where to do the samarpana? The pratishtha that you have made, that's all. Don't look somewhere else to samarpana. The pratishtha you have already imaged, the pratishtha of the jnanam, the embodiment of the jnanam, you have already done here, already that pratishtha. Do samarpana to that pratishtha. That is the satyam, that is the jnanam, because that is one which transforms you, engulfs you into it and make you complete. When you are complete, the incomplete of you is visible as a shadow in that complete. Yes, the invisible, the shadow can be seen. The complete that you can see, the incomplete that you. Like you look into the mirror, Thank you. Look into the mirror. When you look into the mirror, the complete you is only seeing the incomplete you, partial you. Alright. Are you seeing the complete? No. It's a partial you are seeing. So when you are complete, you can see the incomplete you. But being in the incomplete you, how can you see the complete you is why you cannot understand. So to be in that complete you, the samarpana has to be done to that pratishtha. Once you do the samarpana to that pratishtha, you become the pratishtha, or you will merge into the pratishtha. Not that you will understand, you will never understand the Guru, you can never understand the jnaanam, you can never understand the pratishtha. You only have to merge. You have to dissolve yourself. You should be ready to dissolve. You should be so flexible, so dilutable you are, should be. That's called samarpana. Nothing to be rigid. The more you are rigid, the more time it will take to dilute. Salt and sugar will dilute faster. The rock will take ages to dilute. It will dilute, but ages. Rock also dilutes. Be that which can be dissolved into the truth. It's fine. You've got a crystallization. Salt is there, sugar is there, you are there, your sharira is there, mana is there, crystallization is there. It is necessary for you to understand. It is necessary for your execution of your karmas. It is necessary, fine. But don't lose the quality that God has given you to dilute yourself or to do the samarpana to the jnaanam and pratishtha, so that you come out. That means what happens? From the crystallization, the shape of the crystallization, you dilute yourself into that liquid where you can dissolve yourself. Now you are no more there. Now the responsibility is that who dissolved it. So from that dissolved status, you can see the crystallized one, is it not? Where the dissolved the solution is there. When you put the crystal on that one can see the crystal very clearly, but the crystal can never understand the capacity of the solution or water to dilute it. But the water knows I can dilute it. And water can see it is crystal. Crystal cannot see it, cannot experience it. Just to give you an example. Am I right? Yes. Are you getting it? You cannot understand in which you are going to dissolve because you are already separate. When you are separate, the capacity, inherent capacity of the Guru and the Jnanam and the Brahman cannot be understood. You can only see it externally. There is some liquid, that's all. The crystal will see. If I fall into it, do that, will I dissolve myself or not? Or will I sink? Or will I suffer? Or will I suffocate? I do not know. The one who has got a samarpana jumps into it. Because the principle of the solution, the capacity of the dilution capacity, the crystal can never understand, lifetime. Unless it drops itself into the solution and he can experience as diluted. After dilution, he is no more there. Is he not there? This question I asked you earlier also. Is he not there? He is there. Where? In the Guru, in the Jnanam. Is he there? Tat Tvam Asi. That's the meaning of it. What's it? Tat Tvam Asi. What is the difference between me and you? There is no difference because I am already diluted in you. So the me and you are not there. Tat Tvam Asi. Finished. This is the truth. This truth, this crystal cannot understand unless it is do the samarpana. So where should samarpana should be? The Pratishtha. Can you do samarpana to 100 gurus? It's not possible. Can you do samarpana to 24? Everybody quotes that somewhere. In the Puranas it is written that he has got 24 gurus, this Dattatreya. He's an avatar of Vishnu and Shiva and Brahma all together. There's a story behind it. So that's why it is known as Dattatreya, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. He says weird. Actually there the Guru word, that's why I always tell you all, I have already repeatedly told that whenever the Sanskrit Shabda is there and explanations are there, this should be related with the particular context. If it is in a different context, it should be understood. You try to take the word from there, put it in this context, it will never match. So what happened? Dattatreya has explained that starting from the ant and the scorpion and the snake and this, they are all gurus to him, he said. I hope you all know the story. Why? Because from every swabhava there is something to learn, is what he meant actually. The Guru Shabda there, it is not, no. This is he is experiencing it from them. That's why it's an objective study. It is not a lesson taught by that particular thing. It is a lesson learned by him. Right. He has only identified the swabhava of each and everything. As I told you about the story, the scorpion stings. That's a swabhava of that. And it has to. If it doesn't do that, it's not a scorpion. If the snake doesn't hiss, it is not the snake. It has to do that because it has only their own swabhava. So what they say, there the 24 gurus or many gurus have been explained as that what we have to learn everything from everybody. Is that what is learned? I mean, there the context is totally different. Upanishad, when they say Guru, is an embodiment of jnaanam, nothing, no shape, no form, no scorpion, no snake. Embodiment of jnaanam, which is the truth, including the scorpion and snake. You see, this is the embodiment. That is what is called the Pratishtha. But you give a form and shape to that Pratishtha, since our mental condition or our thought and our intellectual status cannot allow us to surrender to nothing. So, there's nothing wrong. That, as I told you, put eyes and nose to and ears to the jnaanam. This is that. Do the Pratishtha. Okay. To that Pratishtha, you surrender. That's jnaanam. So, don't worry about the correctness of it. Don't worry about the inferiority or superiority of it. Oh, my guru is little fat. He has got big tummy and all that. Don't worry about it. It's not your problem. It's not your problem. Yes? Your Pratishtha should be perfect, that's all. Your belief in your Pratishtha, your devotion to your Pratishtha, your dedication to your Pratishtha, Shraddha and Bhakti to the Pratishtha is important, not the shape. Shape and form is only to make you understand the embodiment of jnanam, that's all. That's that pleasure, that enjoyment, that ananda, you should feel that, you see, that's all. Don't look at it with a pleasure, look at it with an ananda. Then you will see it's wonderful. Okay? This is the basis of all this. This has to be understood. Since there was a gap, I thought I must connect you to the subject through it. Then continuation will be easier. Otherwise, importance is lost. Because you will not link it. Now itself, you had to think quite a lot about the Pratishtha, which is the essence of all that, which I explained you in the beginning, where you have to do the surrender of the Pratishtha. You cannot afford to miss those important points, cannot be missed. Then it is not possible. Then it will be a story only. Once upon a time. Raja Ashoka fought a war and died and built one stupa today, which is known as Sarnath. Okay, there is a place which I don't intend to go anytime, because to see that stupa, to go to Sarnath is not worth. Only that peanuts and other things are being sold at the base of the stupa where Ashoka was supposed to be there. This will be the ultimate result of listening to the story. Okay, Bhagavan said, whom am I addressing as Bhagavan here? Who am I addressing as Bhagavan here? Who is that? Sanat Kumar. Bhagavan Sanat Kumar. Addressed as Bhagavan here as Sanat Kumar Maharshi. Sanatan Sanat Kumar. Sanat Kumar is at the time, at this moment, at this context, he is advising Devarishi Narada. He said, when Devarishi asked, "Hey Bhagavan, what is greater than the balam, strength?" So Bhagavan explains that Annam is the greater than balam. So Annam vava bhalat bhuyastama tyadyavivash dasha ratrirnan dishiya dyadu ha jive tatavad drashta shrota manta bodha karta vijnata bhavatyayan asyai drashta bhavati shrota bhavati manta bhavati bodha bhavati karta bhavati vijnata bhavatyannavo upasveti anna upasveti. Do meditation on Annam, he says at last. What is Annam? We all identify Annam as food. We have also explained this earlier in the beginning stages of before the 5th chapter. We have explained about the Annam. But here again, Maharshi brought it as a subject because this is in a different context it is. But more or less the same meaning, the meanings are not changing. I have earlier also explained you those things, even though it was meant for a different purpose. At that time itself I have told you what is called food, what is called Annam. What is Annam? Annam vava balat bhuyaha. Annam, in simple principle, that which gives you strength, the strength that which gives you strength is called Annam. The strength that which gives you the strength is called Annam. Anything that feeds the other is called food or Annam. Anything feeds the other is Annam. It can be rice, barley, wheat, anything else. It can be even some psychological substance. That's also Annam. You come to me and you ask for an advice, and I am advising you. That is Annam for you. That which gives you the growth, that which gives you the strength, that which gives you the satisfaction, that which gives you the peace, that which gives you, that encouragement, that which gives you the support, the strength for transformation, that which helps you to create the situation and transform yourself. They're all Annam. Everything is Annam. So, psychological, the substance, something that is contributory to sustenance of something else. Something is contributory to the sustenance of something else is called Annam. Even for that matter, medicine is Annam. Aushadha is also Annam. Annam is Aushadha, I have told earlier. You remember? Annam is Aushadham. You tell me. Annam is Aushadham only. Annam is taken as it's a medicine only. The medicine for keeping your sharira, mana, blood circulation, this already. It's Annam. Same way, the jnaanam is the Annam for your thought, for your mana. Jnanam is the Annam for that. So that which is contributory to sustenance of something else. That's all. In common, in general, he has put one word. Contributory to the sustenance of something else is called food. Sometimes matter in it generally also is called food. Any matter is Annam. The trees, fruits are Annam. Any matter is, water is also Annam. I mean, in common, everything can be called as Annam. Every object can be, every matter can be called as Annam because they are all supportive, contributory to your sustenance. Yes. Sunlight is Annam. I'm just giving you variants so that your thought should go wider, not concentrated only on some points and get stuck to that. No. Water is Annam, sunlight is Annam, moonlight is Annam. Yes, everything is Annam. Not only that, what you are sustaining, the body, that is called Annam. Today we identify them, the sustenance of the body, we call it as Annam. We have divided it. This is Annam, this is drink, this is Aushadha, that's true. This is called capsule in that. This is called tablet and this is called liquid medicine. No, there also we have divided variants. All put together is Annam. Yeah, that's what it says. So understood the Annam. So when Upanishad is teaching us, Upanishad is telling us that which that gives you sustenance of the existence of my prana, my indriyas, my mana, my jnaanam, my janma, my karma, everything. Whatever is connected with that is all Annam. So the Annam has got a meaning, that which is, so the Annam is totally different now. You cannot contribute to sustenance of something. Contributory to sustenance of something. Many people, even when we have taught also, as I told you, teaching is such that depending upon the stages of the student, it has to be taught like this. Class 1 boy, you cannot teach him, or in a primary school you cannot teach him the mathematics of the university level. Things will change there. When you grow up, things will change there. Same way, so initially to understand, smaller things have to be learned. Same way, I have also told you about Annam, or no, I want to tell you what. Yes. Something else I thought, and suddenly in that matter I forgot. The sustenance. Well, it comes then and then. So even the matter, everything is general. Even tapasya. Tapasya is Annam. Meditation is Annam. I mean, I'm just giving you diversity, sir. Everything that makes you improve, everything will make you change, everything that makes you transform, everything that helps you, gives you strength to execute your karmas, they're all Annam. Now, what I wanted to tell you is that again, you see. Many of us think earlier also, I have also taught you the same thing. Why? Because I said the context was different. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. We said, this has to be told, what did I say? Before Annam. What we thought? Raja. At least this fellow has got some consideration on us, is what you have thought. Only when I am having lunch and dinner I have to have this. Brahmarpanam. It is necessary. Not that, no, throughout I have to chant and all that. People like her sometimes, the day he talks, he is done. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi. There is no Brahmarpanam, there is no Brahmahavi. That day, happy, today at least I don't have to chant that. Today, at least I am saved from that. No eating is Annam. So many of the, as I told you, I have also taught you, before having Annam, I said. But what happened? This is generally understood as lunch and dinner, what we eat before that only. We chant Brahman. What is that? Anything that makes you, anything that creates sustenance, contributory to the sustenance, being Annam, for everything Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, everything is to be Brahmarpanam. When you do tapasya, Brahmarpanam, meditation, Brahmarpanam. When you look at the sun, it is Brahmarpanam. When you bathe, it is Brahmarpanam. When you clothe, it is Brahmarpanam. When you walk, it is Brahmarpanam. When you execute a karma, pray, Brahmarpanam. Everything is, because everything is Brahman. So now you understand? Everything is Brahman. That what gives you the growth is what? That what comes from the Brahman. So that what has come from the Brahman, you are doing the samarpana to Brahman, including the rice and wheat and barley. Also, including that. It's not that it is separate, that's also Annam. Along with that, everything is Brahman. So everything is Brahmarpanam. You understood? Now, are you getting it now? Those days probably we would not have understood it. So that's why we said, before eating, we said, an action of eating is taking this one's rice and wheat and all that. But now we understand it is very clearly. He says that contributory to the sustenance of you. What is sustenance? You can ask the question. Actually, this question should be asked by you. What is sustenance? Sustenance means to keep me up, is it not? Sustenance? Sustenance of the body, sustenance of my black hair, sustenance of XYZ, everything is sustenance. To keep it, then you are telling that it is it not contradictory that what I am speaking? One side I am saying it is Annam contributed to sustenance of the self. Other side I am saying that it is for the samarpana. Brahmarpanam. Everything to be given there. One side is sustenance, one side I am giving to Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi. Which is the truth? Both are truth. Is there both or only one is truth? What is called, that's why I said, what is called sustenance. Brahmarpanam is the truth. Brahmarpanam is the sustenance. What is sustenance? Can you understand now? I don't know whether you are getting it. What is sustenance? To sustain is sustenance.
Yeah.
What can sustain? Body, mind, clothes, price. Which can sustain? Nothing can sustain. Prana, nothing can sustain. Only
Brahman can sustain.
Aathma can sustain in the Brahman. So in order to have the sustenance, that is contributory to the sustenance. I say. We did not say sustenance of the body, did I say? No. Contributory to the sustenance. That's why I asked you what's the meaning of sustenance. It's to sustain. To sustain me as Brahman. To sustain my Aathma as Brahman. That is because that only is the truth sustenance. All other things cannot be called as sustenance. Why? Because they don't sustain. Whatever you eat, you will die. Whatever you don't eat, then also you will die. Whatever you buy, you will die. Whatever you wear, you will die. Where is the sustenance? Your prana also will go. Your indriyas will go. Your prasakti, asakti, everything will go. Your name, fame, everything will go. Your taste, your education, your knowledge, everything will go. The whole universe will forget about you after a few years. Nothing will be there. Then how can you call it a sustenance? What will sustain then? So, it's a very important thing, this word. Contribute to sustenance, don't write that, oh, rice is. That's why he said, no, rice also is. Rice also is Annam. Because it helps in contribution of sustenance, to sustenance. How does the rice help in contribution to sustenance? Rice being the Sharira and Mana and Indriyas will do the execution of karmas. Through the karma and karma, executing karmas and karmas and karmas, one day we will identify that akarma is the true karma. To realize that akarma karma has to be done, in order to do the karma, this has to be done. So, rice is contributory to that sustenance. Now, total concept is different, is it not? No, the concept is different. Initially, the looking at it is different. Now, after having understood, it's different. So, sustenance, contribution to sustenance is Annam. Sustenance of the jnaanam is Annam. Sustenance in, not the jnaanam, sustenance in the jnaanam is Annam. Samarpana to Pratishtha is Annam. Because that only will make me sustain. I living as separate from my Pratishtha is not sustenance. I living in my Pratishtha is sustenance. So the Pratishtha is the sustenance, I is not the sustenance. So that what is the sustenance, I be in that, so I will be there. That's all. Great men are remembered, Mahatma Gandhi, Bhagwan Ram, Alien King, Maryada Purusha. They are all remembered. Sustenance of their name. What happened? They are not there. They are the karma that they have done, they created the name, sustained them. For some time, they are also not permanent. But they are longer than the others. Others, nobody remembers. Sustenance of name because of his karma, contributory to his karma. This also, there also will be forgotten. After the pralaya, there will be, none of them will be there. All gone. Then again, the new things come. So till pralaya is there, they will be there. At least to that extent that sustenance is there. Even though it is small, the sustenance is there. Same way. Like Gandhiji's name is still heard as No, that is a sustenance for one yuga. Let us say one yuga. Through one yuga, people will remember. After that, it's gone. Same way, for some time, till the karmas are finished, sustenance of my body is recognized is sustenance. That also is sustenance. But they are all these categories are all temporary, perishable. The true sustenance. So whenever you contribute, the contribution should be such. We should identify the contribution for the sustenance, for the existence of the truth, for the existence of the jnaanam, for the existence of the Brahman, for the existence of the Pratishtha. This is called the sustenance for the sustenance contribution. Your contribution should be sustenance to that. Even though all other things are all part of sustenance, fine, no problem, but your firm conviction should be there, contemplation should be there, your firm idea should be there, your firm knowledge, your firm goal of your understanding should be made very clear. None of these medicines and food and this is not my final contribution for my sustenance. For the final contribution of sustenance, my jnaanam. For that, surrender to the Pratishtha, be the Pratishtha. So none of them are required. Then, when I transform myself as the Pratishtha, when I transform myself as the jnaanam, then I will identify all this Annam, that what we called as Annam, they were all contributory to the stage-wise transformation from the temporary to the permanent, from the lower consciousness to higher consciousness. That's all. Understanding is lower consciousness. Not understanding and establishing yourself in that is called higher consciousness. Only a person who has got higher consciousness can establish himself in that position. The other person, he will understand. But the one who has got higher consciousness, he will establish himself in that higher consciousness. I'm specifying it so that it goes into the impression. That's why I said in that. Yeah? That is called Annam. Right? So, he says, here, the combination of what happens here? The combination of subjective and objective propositions are merged together. Both of them are diluted together. Subject alone, if it is there, then the sustenance will not be there. It's not a contribution. Object alone is there, understanding about object alone is not a contribution. So in order to identify or establish yourself in the higher consciousness, if it is subjectively understanding the object, or it's an objective understanding of the subject as a subject, both of them are not fulfilling the requirement of establishing yourself in the higher consciousness. You are stuck in understanding of it, whether it is subjectively or objectively. So there cannot be a subject and an object. So long there is a subject and object, you are in a lower consciousness. When you are beyond the subject and object, then you are in a higher consciousness. See? Because as I told you, the confrontation, or there has to be a bifurcation or variant has to be there in order to discuss, logically establish and understand. That is called an object and this is called a subject. In fact, subject is telling that is an object. Subject is telling that is an object. Object has not told anything that I am the object. Did it say that? So what happened? It is your perception that time, in order to conveniently understand things, execute your karmas at a particular era, at a particular time, kala, at a particular situation, circumstances, context, you identified something as an object and something as a subject. Am I right? No, you won't get it. Recently I have told someone, we all speak about love, compassion, attachment, and sacrifice, a lot of things. Words, you see, to tell that it is very easy. So this time when I went there, I wrote down in a book that somebody wanted. The child is born, so they wanted me to write something on that. So I wrote. What did I write? The child is the one who teaches the mother how to really love, how to be compassionate, how to sacrifice, how to share, how to be really concerned without any return out of it. That's called the true sense. Unless a lady has a child, she has not completed learning. The child when the delivery, she has not completed learning about the love and compassion and contribution, the sacrifice. As far as Bhautika stage is concerned, I am not talking about spirituality. Only there one can understand in a smaller sense, one can understand the love means is not the love that which has to be expected from others, which is to be given only. This realization only can be brought by that newborn child. So one is experiencing it, because they are otherwise not learned properly. Till then what happened? Oh, somebody doesn't love me, so why should I love? That man, I think he loves me, but he never smiles. He's got a corner of his mouth is always like this. He's not smiling at me. So if he turns the left corner like this, I will turn my right corner. Why should I smile? Even though jokingly said, is it not it? They are all give and take. Is it love? The true love, unless you experience it, giving is love. This has to be, whatever learning you do, whatever reading you do, whatever this, unless you experience it, it cannot take place. They are all Brahman jnanam. Same way, unless you experience the Brahman, unless you experience the jnanam, you do not know what is called contribution to the jnanam, is what I am trying to tell you. Am I right? Have you got it? Unless you go through a stage of experience, you will not know the exact position of that. Can you understand it? No. We can talk, we can read, we can understand, we can know. As I used to tell you earlier also. Somebody's pain, we can only say, oh, you got pain, you got pain. So what to do? You have to bear with it. Now you do one thing, you take one crocin and put that, what is it called, an ointment, something that white one, that you put it on that, and then don't eat tonight, go and sleep. Okay, pain will go away. Because out of hunger, pain will not be realized. What you said is absolutely right, because yesterday I was only hungry. I never realized the pain. They will tell also next day morning. You are very happy advising that. Unless you experience the pain, you will not know what is the pain actually. Rather, we can support the somebody dies. I have always told this. Next house, his father died. He'll say, don't worry, everybody will die. And your father is already aged, old, plus he was suffering also. It is time for him to go now. Don't have to grieve so much, don't cry and all that. One day his father died. This also happens, One day his father died, so that man came. He said, don't grieve, after all, he's old man, he is deceased also. It is time for him to death. Then he said, no. Then he started still crying, not stopping. See, you only advised me all these things, and you are crying this. But that was your father, not my father. That I told you when your father died. This is my father who died. But jokingly said, what happens? One has to see what I'm trying to tell is that when he is experiencing, he says, none of these words are true. They don't console me. You see, is what he found because he's experienced it. I'm not telling any example of that. I'm just telling about the experiencing part of it. You see, that's all. So you have to experience it. It is not necessary. Something should happen to you in order to experience Brahman. That is why Guru has to be treated as Brahman. So what happens? You cannot have a direct experience with Brahman unless you transform yourself. So during the process of transformation, this Pratishtha of the Guru will give you that experience of merging and dissolving in you, so that this is how it is to be done. That dedication and devotion has to be there. Is how what is called as the subject and object merging together. Now you understand what is subject. One is objective, another is subjective. Here neither the subjective is there nor objective is there. I have done the samarpana of both object and subject together. So the mutual blend of the two aspects, he calls it. It's a mutual blend of the two aspects joined, takes together. That will create the Annam for you to transform, is what I am wanting to tell you. Unless the subject and object merges together, that means the lower consciousness, unless you win over the lower consciousness, you cannot reach the higher consciousness. So in order to win over this lower consciousness, this subject is called the contribution to sustenance of the Aathma, contribution to sustenance of the Brahman jnanam in me, the Brahman in me. For that I will have to merge these two aspects together. There has to be this mutual blend of these two aspects of subjective and objective. My perception of the knowledge, my limitation of knowledge, my limited knowledge of understanding the subject as different and object as different has to be dissolved, diluted and surrendered to the Pratishtha. Then the true understanding. What is why true understanding and understanding, what is the difference? Understanding is by the brain, understanding is by the mana, understanding is by the emotions, understanding is by the indriyas. The true understanding is that which is beyond the understanding. It's called the true understanding. Absolute, we call it, We call it as absolute truth, absolute Brahman, absolute. This absolute, why preposition of a word absolute has been created here? Absolute in the sense it cannot be understood. What is absolute, if you ask me? Absolute jnanam kya hai? What is a jnanam? What is absolute jnanam? That which is beyond jnanam, which you cannot understand, is absolute jnanam. That's all. Unless you experience that jnanam, you cannot understand what is absolute jnanam. For that, samarpana is necessary. Devotion, shraddha, bhakti. Again, we are coming to that. See how beautifully he has explained it. I really feel like repeating number of times this. How beautifully done that. How really made us, and you are experiencing it now. You see, actually, you're going through it. You see, you're feeling that inside. Is it not? This is how it has to be. Well, today, I'm not very happy to stop here, but we have to continue this, and please remind me. I have told about I'm stopping here. There is a mutual blend of these two aspects is what I am stopping. Okay, from there I have to continue. Om Shanti Shambho Mahadeva. Yes.